The stars looked cold through the viewport of the command station. Do-yoon stood with his arms crossed, waiting. He had been called here without explanation, pulled from his quarters in the middle of the night cycle. That usually meant trouble. Admiral Hanwoo entered the briefing room with heavy steps. The old man looked tired, more tired than Do-yoon had ever seen him. He carried a data tablet that he placed on the table between them with careful deliberation. "Captain Do-yoon," Hanwoo said, "I have a mission for you." Do-yoon nodded. He was used to this. For the past 8 years, he had hunted the things that escaped from laboratories, the weapons that turned on their creators, the creatures that threatened human colonies. He was good at it. The best, they said. "What is it this time?" Do-yoon asked. Hanwoo activated the tablet. Images appeared in the air between them. Colony structures torn apart. Bodies in the streets. Blast marks on metal walls that nothing standard could produce. 3 colonies in the Viridian cluster have been destroyed in the past 2 months, Hanwoo said. 417 dead. No survivors in the last attack. Do-yoon studied the images. The destruction was massive, but precise. Whatever did this knew exactly where to strike. The Galactic Council has classified it as a Class 5 threat entity, Hanwoo continued. Witnesses from the first 2 attacks described something fast, too fast to track with standard sensors. It tears through reinforced steel like paper. Energy shields do nothing against it. "Sounds like a modified predator," Do-yoon said. "Probably escaped from a weapons facility." "That was our assessment as well." Hanwoo paused. "The Council wants it eliminated, not captured, not studied, killed and confirmed dead." Do-yoon frowned. The Council always wanted specimens for research, especially dangerous ones. They could learn from them, improve their own defenses. "Why the change in protocol?" he asked. Hanwoo's expression darkened. "Political pressure. The Hegemony Collective is demanding action. They lost citizens in the attacks. They want proof that humanity can control threats in our space." The Hegemony. Do-yoon had dealt with them before. They were a coalition of alien species that considered themselves superior to humanity. They tolerated humans in the galaxy, but barely. Any sign of weakness, and they would push for restrictions on human expansion. "Where was it last seen?" Do-yoon asked. "A research station on Kalthos 9, an ice moon on the edge of the cluster. The station went silent 6 days ago. Long-range scans show structural damage consistent with the previous attacks." Do-yoon memorized the coordinates that appeared on the screen. Kalthos 9, remote, isolated, a perfect place for something dangerous to hide. "I'll need my team," he said. "Already approved. Pilot Eunji and engineer Hyunwoo are being briefed now." Hanwoo hesitated. "There's one more thing. The Council is assigning a political officer to your ship, Counselor Taejin. He'll observe the mission and file reports." Do-yoon's jaw tightened. Political officers were never good news. They cared more about appearances than results, more about following rules than doing what was right. "I work better without observers," Do-yoon said. "I know. But this isn't negotiable. The Council wants oversight." Hanwoo met his eyes. "Do-yoon, be careful on this one. Something about it doesn't feel right. The information we have is incomplete. The Council shared just enough to authorize the mission, but not enough to understand what we're really dealing with." "You think they're hiding something?" "I think they want this thing dead very badly. And when powerful people want something dead that badly, it usually means it knows something they don't want revealed." Do-yoon considered this. Hanwoo was not a conspiracy theorist. If he suspected something, there was reason to be concerned. "I'll watch my back," Do-yoon said. "Watch everything," Hanwoo replied, "and trust your instincts. You've survived this long because you know when something is wrong." 2 hours later, Do-yoon stood in the hangar bay of his ship, the Talon. It was a small vessel, built for speed and stealth rather than firepower. Perfect for hunting missions. Eunji was already in the cockpit, running pre-flight checks. She was the best pilot Do-yoon had ever worked with. able to thread through asteroid fields at speeds that would terrify most people. She gave him a thumbs up through the viewport. Hyunwoo emerged from the engine room, wiping grease from his hands. The engineer was young but brilliant, able to repair or modify almost anything. He had saved their lives more than once, with quick thinking and faster repairs. "We're ready," Hyunwoo said. "All systems green. Whatever we're hunting won't hear us coming." "Good," Doyun said, "because we might only get one chance at this." Counselor Taejin arrived last. He was a thin man in an expensive suit, his face showing clear distaste for the military environment. He carried himself with the arrogance of someone who had never faced real danger. "Captain Doyun," Taejin said without warmth, "I trust you understand the importance of this mission. The Council will be watching closely. Any deviation from protocol will be noted in my report." "Understood," Doyun said flatly. "Stay in the observation deck and don't interfere with operations. I have full authority to oversee all aspects of this mission. You have authority to observe and report. I have authority to complete the mission. Stay out of my way." Before Taejin could respond, Doyun turned and headed for the bridge. He heard the counselor's angry footsteps behind him, but ignored them. He had more important things to worry about. The Talon lifted from the hangar and slipped into the darkness of space. The journey to Kalthos 9 would take 3 days at maximum speed. 3 days to prepare. 3 days to wonder what they would find. Doyun spent the time reviewing every piece of data he had on the target. The pattern of attacks, the timing, the methods. Something nagged at him, something that did not fit the profile of a simple escaped predator. The destruction was brutal, yes, but it was also selective. Critical systems destroyed, escape routes cut off. It showed intelligence, not the random violence of a mindless beast. On the 3rd day, Kalthos 9 appeared on the view screen, a ball of ice and rock, barely larger than Earth's moon. The research station was a small cluster of buildings on the surface, connected by enclosed walkways. As they approached, Yoonji's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, I'm picking up no life signs, no power signature either. The station is completely dead." Doyun felt a chill that had nothing to do with the ice moon below. "Take us down. Standard approach. Be ready for anything." The Talon descended through the thin atmosphere and settled on a landing pad near the main building. Through the viewport, Doyun could see the damage. Walls torn open, equipment scattered across the ice. And something else. Bodies, frozen in the positions they died, preserved by the brutal cold. "Gear up," Doyun ordered. "We go in armed and cautious. Whatever did this might still be here." As he checked his weapons and sealed his environment suit, Doyun thought about Hanwol's warning. Trust your instincts. And his instincts were screaming that nothing about this mission was what it seemed. The airlock opened with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Cold air rushed in, making frost form on the edges of Doyun's helmet display. He stepped out onto the ice, his boots crunching on the frozen surface. The research station loomed ahead like a dead thing. Its lights were dark, its windows were shattered, and everywhere there were marks. Deep gouges in the metal walls, massive tears in the reinforced doors. Eunji and Hyunwoo followed him out, their weapons ready. Behind them, Counselor Taejin emerged in a pristine environment suit, holding a recording device instead of a gun. "Stay close," Doyun said, "and stay alert." They approached the main entrance. The door had been ripped completely off its hinges and lay half buried in ice, 20 meters away. Whatever had done that possessed enormous strength. Inside, the corridor was dark except for the lights mounted on their suits. The beams cut through the shadows, revealing more destruction. Equipment smashed, walls scored with claw marks, and bodies. The first one was an alien, one of the insectoid species that made up part of the hegemony. It was frozen mid-crawl, trying to reach something. Its body had been torn nearly in half. Hyunwoo made a sound of disgust. Even through combat training and experience, seeing death like this never got easier. "Spread out," Doyun ordered. "Search for the command center. We need to access their records." They moved through the station in careful formation. Every room told the same story. Sudden violence, desperate flight, no mercy given. But something bothered Doyun. The bodies were all aliens, various species from the hegemony. He had not seen a single human corpse. "Captain," Unji called from down the hall. "I found something." She stood at the entrance to what looked like a laboratory. Inside, the equipment was more sophisticated than anything a simple research station should have. Medical scanners, gene sequencers, neural interface chairs with restraints. This was not a normal research facility. This was something else. Hyunwoo moved to a computer terminal that still had emergency power. His fingers flew over the controls, bypassing security measures and accessing the station's logs. "This place was called Installation 17, he said, "owned and operated by the Hegemony Collective. It was classified as a mining survey station in the official records." "But it was not a mining station," Doyun said, looking at the restraints on the medical chairs. "No, it was a black site laboratory." Hyunwoo's face grew pale as he read the files. They were conducting experiments, genetic modification, neural conditioning, creating weapons. Counselor Taejin stepped forward. "That is illegal under the Galactic Accords. The hegemony would never." "They did," Hyunwoo interrupted. "It is all here. Test subjects, procedure logs, failure rates." He paused. "Acquisition records." "Acquisition?" Doyun asked. Hyunwoo looked at him. "They were taking people, abducting them. Most were criminals or refugees that no one would miss. But some," he trailed off. "Some what?" "Some were human." The words hung in the frozen air. Doyun felt anger building in his chest. The hegemony had been taking humans and using them as test subjects. How many? How long had this been going on? "How many humans?" he asked quietly. Hyunwoo checked the records. "At least 30 over the past 5 years. Most did not survive the procedures. The ones that did," he stopped. "Show me," Doyun demanded. Hyunwoo pulled up a video file. The screen showed a medical chamber. A woman strapped to a table. She was young, maybe 25, human, and she was screaming. Alien scientists stood around her, injecting her with glowing substances. Her body convulsed. Her screams grew worse. She begged them to stop. Begged for mercy. They ignored her. The timestamp on the video was 6 months ago. "What was her name?" Doyun asked. Hyunwoo searched the file. Subject 17 Omega. Real name, Ji-woo. Taken from a colony transport 3 years ago. Listed as missing. Presumed lost to pirates. Doyun watched as the woman on the screen thrashed against her restraints. Watched as they pumped her full of mutagens and combat stimulants. Watched as they forced neural implants into her skull. They were turning her into a weapon, Unji said softly. "Was she the target?" Hyunwoo asked. "Is she what we were sent to kill?" Doyun looked at the claw marks on the walls, the torn bodies, the selective destruction. "Pull up the attack timeline. When did the station go silent?" Hyunwoo checked. 6 days ago. But the logs show an incident 6 months ago. A containment breach. Subject 17 Omega escaped her cell and killed 4 guards before they recaptured her. And then they increased the conditioning. Stronger drugs, more invasive procedures. The last log entry is from 7 days ago. It says the subject broke programming and became uncontrollable. She killed everyone in the facility and escaped into the ice fields. Counselor Taejin spoke up. "Then the mission is clear. This creature is dangerous and unstable. We terminate it and report back. Doyun turned to face him. This creature is a human woman who was kidnapped and tortured. She is a weapon now. You saw what she did to this station. After they spent years turning her into a monster, against her will. Doyun's voice was hard. This changes things. This changes nothing, Taejin said. We have our orders. The target must be eliminated. Her origin is irrelevant. Doyun took a step toward the counselor. Made her into a killer. And now the hegemony wants us to clean up their mess by murdering her. Captain, you will follow your orders, or I will have you relieved of duty. Before Doyun could respond, the lights went out. All of them. The emergency power died. Their suit lights were the only illumination in the sudden darkness. What happened? Eunji asked, raising her weapon. Hyunwoo checked his portable scanner. Something cut the power. Something that knew exactly which systems to destroy. A sound echoed through the corridor. Footsteps, fast, too fast to be normal. They seemed to come from everywhere at once. Doyun raised his weapon, his heart pounding. Stay together. Watch all directions. The footsteps stopped. Silence fell, more terrible than any noise. Then a voice spoke from the darkness, a woman's voice, rough and strained. I can hear your heartbeats, smell your fear. I know there are 4 of you. Doyun's finger tensed on the trigger. We are not here to hurt you. A laugh, bitter and broken. Lies. They always send hunters. I have killed 6 already. I did not want to, but they would not stop. They never stop. We know what they did to you, Doyun said. We found the records. We know about the experiments. Silence. Then, you know nothing. You cannot know what it is like, what they made me into. Then tell us, Doyun said. He slowly lowered his weapon. We want to understand. Doyun, what are you doing? Taejin hissed. Kill it now. She is not an it, Doyun snapped. Her name is Jiwoo, and she is human. Another silence, longer this time. You said my name, the voice whispered. I had forgotten it. They only called me Subject Omega, over and over, until I almost believed that was all I was. You are more than what they made you, Doyun said. You are Jiwoo. And we can help you. No one can help me. I am a monster now. I have killed so many. I cannot stop the programming. When I see people, something in my head screams at me to kill them. I fight it, but it is so strong. Fight it now, Doyun said. Talk to us. Let us see you. If you see me, you will shoot. Everyone shoots. I will not shoot. I promise. A long pause. Then, slowly, a figure emerged from the shadows at the far end of the corridor. Doyun's suit lights illuminated her. She had been human once. She still was, mostly. But the hegemony had changed her. Her hands ended in retractable claws. Her eyes glowed with an unnatural light from the implants in her skull. Her skin had patterns where genetic modifications had taken hold. But underneath it all, she was still a woman, exhausted, terrified, alone. Please, Jiwoo said, her voice breaking, please do not make me kill you too. Doyun kept his weapon pointed at the floor. Every instinct told him to raise it, to defend himself against the threat standing before him. But he forced himself to stay calm. Jiwoo stood in the corridor like a cornered animal. Her breathing was rapid. Her claws extended and retracted in nervous rhythm. The glow in her eyes pulsed with each heartbeat. Nobody is going to kill anyone, Doyun said quietly. We just want to talk. Talk? Jiwoo laughed, but there was no humor in it. You were sent to execute me. I know how this works. The hegemony cannot let their mistake live, cannot let anyone know what they did here. Counselor Taejin stepped forward. Captain, this is your last warning. Complete the mission or— Shut up, Doyun said without looking at him. Excuse me? I said shut up, or leave. I do not care which. Doyun kept his eyes on Jiwoo. Tell us what happened. All of it. Jiwoo studied him for a long moment. Then, she slowly lowered herself to sit against the wall, her claws retracting. She looked exhausted. I was on a transport ship 3 years ago, she began. Going to join my sister on the colony world, Verdant Prime. The ship was attacked by pirates. They took everyone in cryo. We woke up in cages. She paused, her hands trembling. The pirates sold us. Most went to labor camps. I was bought by the hegemony. They said I was perfect for their program. Young, healthy. Human genetics were apparently more adaptable to their procedures than other species. What kind of procedures? Yunji asked softly. Everything. They injected me with mutagens from a dozen different species, spliced alien DNA into mine, installed neural implants to control my thoughts, made my body stronger, faster, gave me weapons instead of hands. She looked at her claws with disgust, one that would follow any order without question. The neural conditioning, Hyunwoo said. It is in the files. They tried to erase your personality. They tried, Jiwoo said. They failed. I could feel myself slipping away, but some part of me held on. I remembered my name, remembered my sister, remembered that I was human, not a weapon. How did you escape? Doyeon asked. Jiwoo's expression darkened. 6 months ago they sent me on a test mission. There was a research facility on a nearby moon, rivals of the hegemony. They wanted me to infiltrate and destroy their work. The conditioning was supposed to make me obedient. She stood and began pacing, agitated. I did what they programmed me to do. Killed the guards, destroyed the equipment, and then I saw them, the other test subjects, locked in cages just like I had been. Different species, all of them terrified. What did you do? Eunji asked. I fought the programming. For the first time, I really fought it. And I won. I freed them instead of killing them, got them to escape pods, sent them away. That must have been difficult, Doyeon said. It nearly killed me. The implants in my brain, they punish disobedience, pain like you cannot imagine. But I did it. She smiled slightly. And then I came back here, back to this place, back to the people who made me into this thing. You killed everyone in the facility, Taejin said accusingly. Yes. Jiwoo met his eyes without flinching. Every single one of them. The scientists who tortured me, the guards who held me down, the administrators who signed the orders. I killed them all. You are a murderer, Taejin said. I am a victim, Jiwoo shot back. They made me into a killer. I just gave them what they created. Doyoon held up his hand. What happened after? Why did you stay here? Jiwoo's anger faded, replaced by sadness. Look at me. I am not human anymore. Not really. I cannot go home, cannot see my sister. She would not even recognize me. You are still human, Doyeon said firmly. What they did to your body does not change that. You do not understand. It is not just my body. The programming is still there. When I see people, when I feel threatened, something takes over. I have killed 6 hunters already. Good people probably, just following orders, and I could not stop myself. She looked down at her hands. I am dangerous. Maybe the hegemony is right. Maybe I should be put down like a sick animal. No, Doyeon said. The word came out harder than he intended. You are not an animal, and you deserve better than this. Taejin made a sound of disbelief. Captain, you cannot possibly be considering helping this thing. Our orders are clear. Doyeon turned to face the counselor. Our orders are based on lies. The council told us we were hunting a monster. They did not mention that the monster was created by the hegemony. That she is a human citizen who was abducted and tortured. That does not change the threat she represents. It changes everything, Doyoon said. The hegemony broke galactic law. They kidnapped our people, experimented on them, and now they want us to cover up their crimes by executing the evidence. You have no proof of that. Hyunwoo spoke up. Actually, I do. I have been downloading the station's entire database. Every file, every video, every piece of evidence showing what they did here. Taejin's face went pale. You will delete that immediately. This is classified material. Classified? Doyoon laughed. They abducted and tortured humans. That is not classified. That is a war crime. If this information gets out, it could destabilize human hegemony relations. Could even start a war. Maybe we should go to war with people who steal and torture our citizens. Taejin reached for his communicator. I am calling this in. Fleet Command needs to know that you are defying orders. Doyun moved fast. He grabbed Taejin's wrist before the communicator could activate. You are not calling anyone. Let go of me. That is assault on a council official. I do not care. Doyun looked at Eunji and Hyunwoo. Get back to the ship. Prep for immediate departure. You are making a terrible mistake, Taejin said. Maybe, but it is my mistake to make. Doyun turned to Jiwoo. Will you come with us? We can get you somewhere safe. Somewhere the hegemony cannot reach you. Jiwoo looked skeptical. Why would you help me? You do not know me. Because it is the right thing to do. Because you are human and humans do not abandon each other. He paused. And because if the hegemony did this to you, they might be doing it to others. We need to stop them. The programming, Jiwoo said. I could lose control. Could hurt you. We will deal with that if it happens. Right now, we need to move. Taejin sent a distress signal before I stopped him. Fleet ships will be here soon. Hyunwoo checked his scanner. He is right. I am picking up multiple ships entering the system. Military signatures. They will be here in less than an hour. Eunji was already moving toward the exit. We need to go now. Doyun held out his hand to Jiwoo. Trust me, please. She looked at his hand for a long moment. Then slowly, carefully, she reached out and took it. Her claws retracted so she would not cut him. I hope you know what you are doing, she said. So do I, Doyun admitted. They ran through the corridors toward the landing pad. Behind them, Taejin shouted threats and warnings. Doyun ignored him. As they reached the airlock, alarms began blaring. Automated defenses activated throughout the station. Gun turrets descended from the ceiling. Blast doors began closing. Taejin activated the security system, Hyunwoo shouted. He is trying to trap us here. Jiwoo moved before anyone could react. She leaped at the nearest gun turret, her claws extending. With a single strike, she tore it from its mounting. Sparks flew as the machinery died. Go, she shouted. I will clear the way. She became a blur of motion, destroying turrets, forcing doors open with her bare hands. The violence was terrifying, but it was also controlled, precise. She was choosing to protect them instead of harm them. They burst out onto the landing pad just as the fleet ships entered orbit. 6 warships, weapons hot. Get to the ship, Doyun ordered. They sprinted across the ice. The Talon's engines were already warming up, Eunji having activated them remotely. The boarding ramp lowered as they approached. An explosion rocked the ground behind them. The fleet had begun firing on the station. Not to capture, to destroy. They are going to kill everyone here, Hyunwoo said in horror. Even Taejin. They are destroying the evidence, Doyun said grimly, making sure no one can prove what happened here. They reached the ship and scrambled aboard. Jiwoo was last, turning to look at the facility one final time, as fire bloomed across its surface. The ramp closed, the Talon lifted off, and Doyun knew that everything had just changed. He was no longer a hunter following orders. He was a fugitive, protecting the truth. The question was whether they would survive long enough to reveal it. The Talon shook as energy blasts streaked past. Eunji pushed the engines to maximum, weaving between the incoming fire with desperate precision. They are really trying to kill us, she said through gritted teeth. They are trying to kill the evidence, Doyun corrected, strapping himself into a seat. We cannot let them succeed. Jiwoo stood in the center of the cabin, not bothering with restraints. She moved with the ship's motion like she was part of it. Her enhanced reflexes made turbulence meaningless. How long until we can jump to hyperspace? Doyun asked. Hyunwoo was already at the engineering console, his fingers flying over the controls. 3 minutes. We need to clear the planet's gravity well first. We might not have 3 minutes, Yunji said. 2 of those warships are breaking formation. They are coming after us. Doyun pulled up the tactical display. The ships were fast. The Talon was quick, but not quick enough to outrun them forever. Can we fight them? Jiwoo asked. No, we are a scout ship, not a warship. They would tear us apart. Suddenly, the ship's systems went dark. The lights died. The engines cut out. They drifted in space, powerless. What happened? Doyun demanded. Hyunwoo's face was illuminated by his portable scanner. Taejin, he must have activated a remote override before we left the station. He locked us out of the ship's main systems. Can you fix it? I am trying, but he has command codes I do not. This could take hours. We do not have hours, Yoonji said, watching the warships close in on their position. Doyun slammed his fist against the wall. They had come so far, risked so much, and now they would be captured or killed because of one man's loyalty to a corrupt system. There, Jiwoo said suddenly. She was staring at a panel in the wall. What? Doyun asked. The override commands. They run through that junction box. She pointed with one clawed finger. I can hear the power flowing through it. If we destroy it, the override will fail. But that would also damage critical systems, Hyunwoo protested. We might lose navigation or life support. Or we might die when those warships catch us, Jiwoo said. Your choice. Doyun made the decision instantly. Do it. Jiwoo crossed to the wall panel and tore it open with her bare hands. Inside was a mess of wires and circuits. Without hesitation, she plunged her claws into the junction box. Electricity arced. Sparks flew. Jiwoo gritted her teeth, but did not pull away. She twisted and pulled, ripping through components until something inside the wall exploded. The lights came back on. The engines roared to life. Jiwoo stepped back, smoke rising from her hands. The skin there was burned, but even as Doyun watched, it began healing. The modifications the hegemony had made to her included accelerated regeneration. That hurt, she said calmly. Thank you, Doyun said. Thank me when we survive. Unji had already seized control, pushing the ship into a desperate climb. 90 seconds to jump range. Hold on. The warships opened fire. Energy blasts tore through space around them. One grazed the Talon's shields, making the whole ship shudder. Shields at 60%, Hyunwoo reported. Another hit like that and we are done. 45 seconds. More fire. The ship rocked. Alarms blared. One of the engines began losing power. 30 seconds. Come on, Unji muttered, coaxing every bit of speed from the dying engine. 20 seconds. A blast struck them directly. The shields collapsed. The hull breached in 3 places. Emergency seals slammed into place, but they were losing atmosphere fast. Jump now, Doyun ordered. We are not clear yet. The gravity well. Now. Unji pulled the hyperspace lever. Reality twisted. The laws of physics bent in ways that made Doyun's stomach turn. For a moment that seemed to last forever, they hung between dimensions. Then, they were through. The stars stretched into lines. The warships vanished behind them. They were safe. For now. Doyun let out a breath he did not know he was holding. Around him, the crew did the same. Everyone okay? He asked. Define okay, Hyunwoo said, looking at the damage reports scrolling across his screen. We have hull breaches, a dead engine, failing life support in 2 compartments, and the navigation system is barely functional. But we are alive, Unji said. There is that. Doyun unbuckled and stood. His legs felt shaky, but he forced himself to remain steady. A captain could not show weakness. How long do we have before they find us again? He asked. Depends on how hard they look, Unji said. Hyperspace jumps leave traces. A good scanner can follow our trail. But we jumped early, which makes the trail harder to read. Could buy us hours. Could buy us days. Then we use whatever time we have. Do-yoon turned to Hyun-woo. You said you downloaded the station's database. Can you access it? Already on it. Give me a few minutes. While Hyun-woo worked, Do-yoon checked on Ji-woo. She sat in a corner of the cabin, looking at her burned hands as they healed. How are you? He asked. Fine. The pain is nothing compared to what they did to me in that place. I am sorry. For what happened to you. For all of it. She looked up at him. Why? You did not do this. No. But I almost killed you without knowing the truth. That makes me part of the problem. Ji-woo studied him for a long moment. You are different from the others they sent. The other hunters. They just attacked, did not ask questions, did not care who I was. Maybe they did not know. Or maybe they did not want to know. Easier to follow orders when you don't see the person you are killing. Do-yoon had no response to that. She was right. Captain, Hyun-woo called, you need to see this. Do-yoon moved to the engineering station. On the screen was a list of names, dozens of them, all marked as test subjects. This is everyone they took, Hyun-woo said quietly. 37 humans over 5 years. Most died during the procedures. The ones who survived. He pulled up files, images of people who had been changed, modified, turned into weapons. Where are they now? Do-yoon asked. Dead, except for Ji-woo. She is the only survivor. No, Ji-woo said from behind them. She had moved to look at the screen, silent as a ghost. That is not right. There were others. I heard them. In the other labs. Other test subjects who survived. How many? I do not know. 12? 15? They kept us separated, did not want us communicating, but I could hear them screaming during the procedures. Hyun-woo searched the files. You are right. There are multiple facilities. This was just one of them. The hegemony has a whole network of these black sites. The weight of it settled on Do-yoon like a physical thing. This was not one crime. It was hundreds, maybe thousands. People stolen from their lives and turned into monsters against their will. We need to expose this, he said. All of it. Make it public so the hegemony cannot hide anymore. That will start a war, Eun-ji said. Humans will demand justice. The hegemony will deny everything. It could tear the galaxy apart. Good, Do-yoon said. Some things are worth fighting for. He turned to Hyun-woo. Prepare the data for transmission. We broadcast it on every channel we can reach. Make copies. Send them everywhere. That will also tell the fleet exactly where we are, Hyun-woo warned. I know, but we have to do it anyway. This is bigger than us. As Hyun-woo began preparing the transmission, Ji-woo spoke. What about the others? The ones still in those facilities? What about them? We cannot just abandon them. If we expose this, the hegemony will kill them to destroy evidence. Just like they tried to kill me. Those people, they did not ask for this, did not deserve it. We cannot save everyone, Do-yoon said, though the words hurt. Maybe not, but we can try. Do-yoon looked at her, saw the determination in her modified eyes, saw the humanity that the hegemony had tried and failed to erase. You are right, he said. We find the other facilities. Free whoever we can. And then we burn those places to the ground. Eun-ji turned in her pilot seat. That is insane. We are one small ship with a broken engine and half the galaxy hunting us. I know, Do-yoon said. Anyone who wants to leave, I understand. This is my fight. I will not force you to join it. Eun-ji and Hyun-woo looked at each other. Some silent communication passed between them. Then Eun-ji smiled. You really think we would let you have all the fun? Someone needs to keep you from getting killed, Hyun-woo added. Do-yoon felt something in his chest loosen. He was not alone in this. None of them were. Then let us get to work, he said. We have people to save and a conspiracy to destroy. The transmission went out on every frequency that Talon could reach. Data packets carrying the truth about the hegemony's crimes scattered across the galaxy like seeds on the wind. Doyun watched the progress on the communications console. 70% uploaded. 80, 90. They will track this, Unji said from the pilot seat. Every ship within range will know where we are. I know. How much time do we have? Minutes, maybe less. The transmission hit 100%. Sent. Irreversible. Now what? Hyunwoo asked. Now we run, Doyun said, and hope someone out there cares enough to listen. The Talon dropped out of hyperspace at the coordinates Hyunwoo had calculated. Empty space. No planets, no stations. Just the dark between stars. Except it was not empty. 6 warships waited for them. The same fleet from Kalthos 9, spread in a blockade formation. They had predicted the Talon's course, and cut them off. How did they know we would come here? Unji demanded. They did not, Hyunwoo said, studying his sensors. They are at every major navigation point. Waiting. We just picked the wrong route. The lead warship hailed them. A voice crackled over the speakers. Attention, rogue vessel Talon. You are ordered to surrender immediately. Cut your engines, and prepare to be boarded. Any resistance will be met with lethal force. Doyun did not respond. He was calculating options. 6 warships, 1 damaged scout ship, no weapons worth mentioning. Math did not lie. We cannot fight them, he said, and we cannot outrun them with 1 engine. So we surrender? Jiwoo asked. She stood calm despite the situation, her body relaxed, but ready to move instantly. Never, Doyun said. He opened a channel to every ship, station, and relay within range. This is Captain Doyun of the Terran Colonial Defense Force. I am transmitting evidence of crimes committed by the Hegemony Collective against human citizens. Abduction, torture, murder. The ships pursuing us are attempting to silence the truth. I ask that anyone receiving this message share it. Let the galaxy see what they have done. He cut the transmission and looked at his crew. That is all I can do. The rest is up to people with more power than us. The fleet commander responded, his voice tight with anger. Captain Doyun, you have committed treason. Surrender now, and you will face trial. Resist, and you will be destroyed. Trial? Doyun laughed bitterly. For exposing the truth? For protecting a human citizen from murder? What kind of trial is that? You do not understand the political situation. This information could destabilize. The hegemony committed war crimes, and you want to protect them because it is convenient, because it is easier than fighting for justice. A new voice cut into the channel. Female, firm, familiar. Captain Doyun, this is Admiral Salmon of the TCS Defiance. Stand by. Doyun felt a surge of hope. Salmon was old guard military, honorable. If anyone would understand, it was her. Admiral, he said, did you receive my transmission? I did. I am reviewing the data now. A pause. The longest seconds of Doyun's life. Captain, these are serious accusations. They are true. Every word, every file. The hegemony has been abducting our people for years. Another pause. Then, I believe you. One of the warships broke formation, the Defiance, a heavy cruiser 3 times the size of the others. It moved to position itself between the Talon and the rest of the fleet. Admiral Salmon, the fleet commander said. What are you doing? My duty, Salmon replied. Captain Doyun is under my protection. Any ship that fires on him, fires on me. You are defying direct orders from the Council. I am protecting a Terran citizen and officer who exposed war crimes. If the Council has a problem with that, they can court-martial me, but they will have to catch me first. 2 more ships broke formation, then another. Half the fleet moved to join the Defiance. The commander's voice shook with rage. You are all committing treason. No, Salmon said calmly. We are choosing justice over politics. I suggest you do the same. For a moment, the standoff held. Ships faced each other across the void, weapons hot, but not firing. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Then Jiwoo spoke. I will surrender. Tell them I will surrender if they let you go. Everyone turned to look at her. No, Doyun said immediately. Listen to me. I am what they want. I am the evidence they need to destroy. If I give myself up, maybe this ends. It does not end. They will kill you and claim the data was fabricated. All of this will be for nothing. But you will live. Your crew will live. And what kind of life is that? Doyun asked. Knowing we sacrificed an innocent person to save ourselves? Jiwoo met his eyes. You barely know me. Why risk everything for someone you just met? Because it is right. Because you deserve better. Because humanity does not abandon its own. He turned to the communications console, and because we are not done fighting yet. Before anyone could respond, new contacts appeared on the sensors, dozens of them, ships jumping in from hyperspace all around the blockade. What is that? Eunji asked. Hyunwoo checked the signatures. Civilian vessels, freighters, colony transports. They are broadcasting the transmission. They are spreading it to every system they can reach. More ships arrived. Hundreds, then thousands. They filled the space around the military vessels like a swarm of insects. They heard us, Doyen said quietly. People heard the truth and came. The fleet commander tried to reassert control. All civilian vessels clear the area immediately. This is a military operation. A new voice answered, gruff, old. This is Captain Bora of the independent freighter Morning Star. We are not going anywhere. We have families on those colony worlds. Friends. We want answers about the missing people. Other voices joined. A chorus of demands. Justice. Truth. Accountability. The military ships were surrounded. They could not fire without hitting civilians. Could not advance without causing a massacre. Admiral Salmon spoke again. Fleet Commander, I suggest you stand down. This is over. The Council will never allow. The Council does not have a choice anymore. The evidence is public. The people know. You can either accept that, or start shooting civilians. Your call. Silence. Then, slowly, the remaining loyal ships powered down their weapons. All ships hold position, the commander said, defeated. Await further orders. Soman hailed the Talon directly. Captain Doyun, you have clearance to depart. I will deal with the Council. Thank you, Admiral. Do not thank me yet. You have made powerful enemies. The hegemony will not take this quietly. Neither will their allies in our government. I know. Where will you go? Doyun looked at Jiwoo, at Hyunwoo, at Eunji, his crew, his responsibility. There are more facilities, more people who need help. We are going to find them. That is suicide. Probably, but it is also necessary. You always were stubborn. Fine. I will do what I can to buy you time. But Doyun, be careful. The truth is out, but the fight is just beginning. Understood. The channel closed. The Talon's engines flared to life. Eunji plotted a course away from the blockade, through the mass of civilian ships still arriving. As they passed, the other vessels flashed their lights in support. A silent salute from ordinary people who had heard the call and answered. Look at that, Hyunwoo said softly. All those people. They give me hope, Eunji said. Maybe we can win this. Doyun was not so optimistic. The hegemony was vast, powerful. They would fight to protect their secrets. Blood would be spilled. Lives would be lost. But as he looked at the sea of ships around them, at the thousands of ordinary citizens who had come when called, he felt something he had not felt in a long time. Purpose. Set course for the nearest suspected facility, he ordered, and prep the weapons. From here on, we are at war. Jiwoo stood beside him, looking out at the stars. Thank you, she said quietly, for choosing to fight. Thank you for giving us something worth fighting for. The Talon jumped to hyperspace. Behind them, the blockade dissolved. The civilian fleet dispersed, carrying the truth to every corner of the galaxy. The message was sent. The war had begun. And somewhere in the darkness, other prisoners waited for rescue. Doyun intended to find them all. The independent station called Haven's Rest floated in the void between star systems. It was old, cobbled together from a dozen different ships and stations. A place where laws were flexible and questions were not asked. Perfect for fugitives. The Talon docked in a forgotten corner of the station. Doyun waited until the airlock sealed before allowing his crew to disembark. Even in lawless space, they could not be too careful. "Stay alert," he said. "We are wanted by both the Council and the Hegemony. Either could have agents here." The station's corridors were cramped and dirty. Vendors sold questionable goods from makeshift stalls. The air smelled of recycled oxygen and desperation. Jiwoo walked close to Doyun, her hood pulled up to hide her modified features. She drew stares anyway. Something about the way she moved made people nervous. "I do not like this place," she said quietly. "Neither do I, but we need supplies and information." Hyunwoo led them to a marketplace where salvagers sold ship parts. He needed components to repair the Talon's damaged engine. Without it, they would never make it to the next facility. While he negotiated, Doyun noticed the crowd around them growing. People whispered, pointed. Some held up datapads showing images of the Talon's crew. "We are recognized," Unji muttered. "Apparently we are famous," Doyun said, "or infamous. Hard to tell which." A large man pushed through the crowd. Scars covered his face, and his arms were augmented with military-grade implants. A bounty hunter. "You are Captain Doyun," he said. It was not a question. Doyun's hand moved to his weapon. "Depends who is asking." "Name is Gunwoo. I have a message for you." "From who?" "People who want to help." Gunwoo glanced at the growing crowd. "But not here. Too many ears. Follow me." Probably was a trap, but they needed allies, and those were hard to find. "Lead the way," he said. Gunwoo took them to a private dock at the station's far end. Inside was a small ship and 3 people, 2 humans and 1 alien from a species Doyun did not recognize. One of the humans stepped forward. She was middle-aged, with kind eyes and tired lines around her mouth. "Captain Doyun," she said, "I am Dr. Mirai. I heard about what you did, about the data you released." "And you want to help?" Doyun asked skeptically. "I want to fix what the hegemony broke." She looked at Jiwoo, "including her, if she will let me." Jiwoo pulled back her hood. Mirai did not flinch at her appearance. She studied Jiwoo with professional interest. "You are one of the test subjects," Mirai said. "Subject Omega. I read your file in the leaked data." "My name is Jiwoo," she said firmly. "I apologize." Mirai approached slowly, hands visible and empty. "I used to work for the hegemony, in their genetic research division. I did not know about the black sites. When I discovered what they were doing, I left." "Why should we trust you?" Doyun asked. "Because I can remove the modifications, or at least some of them." Mirai looked at Jiwoo. "I helped develop the augmentation technology they used on you. I know how it works, how to reverse it." Jiwoo's eyes widened. "You can make me human again?" "Not entirely. Some changes are too deep, but I can remove most of the combat augmentations. The neural programming, give you back control." "What is the catch?" Doyun asked. "The procedure is dangerous, experimental. It could kill her, or leave her in worse condition than she is now." Mirai did not look away, "but it is a chance, the only one I can offer." Jiwoo was silent for a long moment. Then she said, "I want to do it." "Jiwoo, wait," Doyun said. "Think about this. You heard what she said." "I have thought about it every day since they took me. I am tired of being their weapon, tired of fighting their programming. If there is a chance to be myself again, I have to take it. Even if it kills you? Especially then. At least I would die human, not as this thing they made me. Doyun wanted to argue, to find another way, but he saw the determination in her eyes and knew it would be pointless. How long will the procedure take? He asked Mireille. 8 hours, maybe more. I will need complete focus, no interruptions. We will keep watch, Doyun said. The procedure was agony to watch. Jiwoo lay on an operating table in Mireille's ship, surrounded by medical equipment. The doctor worked with careful precision, but even so, Jiwoo screamed. The neural implants had to be removed, one by one. Each extraction sent shocks through her body. She convulsed against the restraints, her healing factor fighting the surgery. She is in too much pain, Unji said, unable to watch. If I give her more anesthetic, it will interfere with the procedure, Mireille said calmly. She is strong. She can endure this. 3 hours in, alarms began blaring. Jiwoo's heart rate spiked. Her body rejected the changes, fighting to maintain the augmentations it had grown dependent on. She is going into shock, Mireille said. Help me stabilize her. Doyun and Hyunwoo held Jiwoo down as her body thrashed. Her claws extended and retracted wildly. Her eyes glowed with unnatural light. The programming is activating, Mireille said. It interprets the surgery as an attack. She will fight us. Jiwoo's eyes snapped open. For a moment, they were empty, inhuman, the weapon the hegemony had created. Her hand shot out, claws aiming for Doyun's throat. He barely dodged. Jiwoo, he shouted, fight it. You are stronger than their programming. She lunged again, faster than he could react. But this time, she stopped herself. Her hand froze inches from his face, trembling, fighting. Jiwoo, she whispered. My name is Jiwoo. The light in her eyes flickered, dimmed. She collapsed back onto the table. Now, Mireille said, while she is still conscious, finish the extraction. They worked through the night, removing implants, extracting genetic modifications. Some augmentations were too integrated to remove safely. Those stayed. When it was over, Jiwoo looked more human. Her claws remained but were smaller. Her eyes still glowed, but softer. The patterns on her skin had faded, but not disappeared. She opened her eyes slowly. Did it work? How do you feel? Mireille asked. Jiwoo sat up carefully, moved her hands, felt her face. Weak, slower, human. Human. The neural programming is gone, Mireille confirmed. You have full control of yourself now, but you are still enhanced, stronger and faster than baseline human, just not the unstoppable weapon you were. I can live with that, Jiwoo said. While she recovered, news reached the station. The council had responded to the leaked data. They condemned the hegemony's actions in strongly worded statements, promised investigations, demanded accountability. But they also labeled Doyun and his crew as criminals. Unauthorized disclosure of classified information, theft of military property, resisting arrest. They are still protecting the hegemony, Hyunwoo said in disgust, even with all the evidence. The hegemony has power, Gunwoo said. He had stayed to help guard the ship. Money, influence. The council will not move against them without political cover. What about Admiral Soman? Unji asked. Court-martialed, stripped of rank. Pending trial for mutiny. Doyun felt anger burn in his chest. Soman had done the right thing and was being punished for it. This is wrong, he said. Welcome to politics, Gunwoo replied. The truth does not matter. Only power matters. Then we make them listen, Doyun said. We find the other facilities. Free the prisoners. Give them so much evidence they cannot ignore it. Mireille pulled up a star chart. I know where 3 facilities are. I helped build 2 of them before I learned what they were really for. Show me, Doyun said. She highlighted 3 systems. Here, here, and here. All black sites, all running the same program as Installation 17. How many prisoners? Unknown, but if they follow the same pattern, at least 10 to 15 per facility, maybe more. Doyun studied the map. The facilities were spread across hegemony space. Getting to them would be nearly impossible. We will need help, he said. I can get you help, Gunwoo offered. There are others like me, freelancers, mercenaries, people who do not love the hegemony. For the right price, they will fight. We do not have money. No, but you have something better. A cause. People respect that, especially people like us who have been stepped on by the powerful. Jiwoo spoke from the medical table. I will come with you, help free the others. You are still recovering, Doyun said. I am functional, and I know what those people are going through. They need someone who understands. Doyun looked at her, diminished but determined. Human but still enhanced. Free but still scarred. All right, he said. We hit the nearest facility, fast and hard. Get in, free the prisoners, get out. And if we fail, Unji asked, that is more than anyone else is doing. They spent 3 days preparing. Gunwoo recruited a small force of fighters, not many, but enough. Mireille provided intelligence on the facility's layout and defenses. The night before they left, Doyun found Jiwoo on the observation deck. She stared at the stars with an expression he could not read. Are you all right? He asked. I was thinking about my sister, wondering if she knows what happened to me, if she thinks I am dead. Maybe when this is over, you can find her. Maybe. But I am not the same person she knew. I do not know if she would recognize me, or if I would recognize myself. You are still you. The hegemony changed your body, but not your soul. Jiwoo smiled sadly. You have too much faith in me. No, I have exactly the right amount. He put a hand on her shoulder. Tomorrow we start the real fight. Are you ready? Her eyes, still glowing softly, held a fierce determination. I was born ready. They just made me forget for a while. But I remember now. I remember who I am. Good, because those people in that facility, they need you. Need all of us. The next morning, the Talon and 3 other ships jumped to hyperspace, heading toward the first target, toward prisoners who did not know rescue was coming, toward a war that would shake the galaxy. The facility hung in orbit around a dead planet. It was larger than Installation 17, a massive structure bristling with weapons and sensors. The Crucible, the files had called it, the heart of the hegemony's augmentation program. Doyun studied the tactical display on the Talon's bridge. The defenses were overwhelming. Automated turrets, shield generators, a garrison of hegemony soldiers. Any direct assault would be suicide. We need a way inside, he said. Jiwoo leaned over the display, her enhanced eyes processing the information faster than any normal human could. There, service entrance on the lower decks, minimal security. They rely on stealth instead of guards. Can you get us through? Unji asked. I was programmed with every entry protocol they use. The codes might have changed, but the systems will recognize my neural signature. I can open the doors. Alone. I know. Too dangerous. Jiwoo met his eyes. This is what I was made for. Let me use it for something good. Before Doyun could argue, Gunwoo's voice crackled over the comm. We have a problem. Long-range sensors picked up 3 hegemony warships on intercept course. They will be here in 20 minutes. They know we are coming, Hyunwoo said. Or they are running regular patrols, Doyun replied. Either way, we are out of time. We go now, or not at all. He looked at his crew, at Jiwoo, at the mercenaries Gunwoo had recruited. 20 people against a fortress. Impossible odds. Listen up, he said over the open channel. This is a volunteer mission. Anyone who wants to back out, do it now. No shame. But once we start, there is no turning back. Silence. Then Gunwoo laughed. You think we came all this way to quit? Let us go break some things. The other ships signaled their agreement. Do-yun allowed himself a small smile. Maybe they had a chance after all. All ships, attack pattern Delta. Draw their fire while the Talon makes for the service entrance. Once we are inside, hold position and wait for our signal. The assault began. The mercenary ships swept in fast, weapons blazing. The Crucible's automated defenses activated, filling space with energy blasts. Under cover of the chaos, the Talon dove toward the lower decks. Eunji pushed the engines hard, dodging defensive fire with desperate skill. 30 seconds to the entrance, she called. Jiwoo stood by the airlock, suited up and ready. Do-yun joined her. Be careful, he said. You too, she replied. The Talon pulled alongside the service entrance. Jiwoo jumped across the gap, magnetic boots locking her to the hull. She moved to the access panel and placed her hand against it. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the panel glowed. The door slid open. I am in, Jiwoo said over the comm, proceeding to disable internal defenses. The Talon docked. Do-yun, Eunji, and Hyunwoo entered the facility with weapons ready. The corridors were sterile and white, identical to Installation 17. They moved fast, following the map Mireille had provided. The detention level was deep inside the structure, buried beneath layers of laboratories and barracks. They encountered the first guards at a security checkpoint. 5 hegemony soldiers in full armor. Do-yun raised his weapon, but Jiwoo was faster. She moved like liquid shadow. One guard went down before he could raise his rifle. Another followed. The remaining 3 managed to fire, but Jiwoo was already behind them. 5 seconds. 5 guards. Silence. Clear, she said, her voice steady despite the violence. Do-yun looked at the bodies, at Jiwoo standing among them, blood on her claws. For a moment, he saw what the hegemony had created. A perfect killer. Then Jiwoo retracted her claws and turned away, her expression haunted. And he saw the woman beneath the weapon. Someone who killed because she had to, not because she wanted to. Keep moving, he said gently. They descended through the facility, fighting past guards and automated systems. Alarms blared, lockdown protocols activated. But they were committed now. The detention level was a nightmare. Rows of cells containing people who had been changed, modified, turned into weapons against their will. Do-yun forced himself to look at them, at what the hegemony had done. Some prisoners were barely recognizable as the species they had been. Others sat catatonic, their minds broken by the conditioning. How many are human? He asked. Hyunwoo checked his scanner. 12, spread across different cells. Get them out, all of them. While Hyunwoo worked on the cell locks, Jiwoo moved among the prisoners, speaking to them softly, telling them rescue had come. Some responded. Others just stared. A young woman grabbed Jiwoo's arm. You came back, she whispered. You said you would come back. I do not know you, Jiwoo said gently. Cell block 7. They made us fight each other. You were always kind to me after. Gave me your food rations. The woman smiled through tears. You are Jiwoo. Jiwoo felt something break inside her chest. Memories she had suppressed. Other prisoners. Other victims. She had not been alone in this hell. What is your name? She asked. Yuna. Subject Gamma. No, your real name. Yuna, my name is Yuna. Then let us get you out of here, Yuna. The cells opened. Prisoners emerged cautiously, not quite believing they were free. Do-yun counted them. 12 humans. 8 other species. 20 lives saved. If they can get them out alive. Captain, Eunji said over the comm. Those warships arrived. They are engaging Gunwoo's forces. We cannot hold them much longer. Understood. We are heading to extraction now. A voice echoed through the facility speakers. Cold, amused, human. Captain Doyun, I have been expecting you. Doyun recognized the voice from the intelligence files. Overseer Kyung-ho, a human who had sold out his own species to work for the hegemony. Where are you, Kyung-ho? Doyun demanded. Oh, I am close, watching. You have made quite a mess of my facility. Your facility? You mean your torture chamber. I prefer to think of it as progress. Humanity is weak, Captain. Fragile. The augmentation program makes us strong, competitive with the other species. It makes us slaves, Jiwoo said, her voice hard. Ah, Subject Omega, or should I say Jiwoo, a shame. You were our finest creation. I was your victim, not your creation. Semantics. The point is, you were valuable. The others are valuable. And I cannot let you take them. Security doors slammed shut around them. Poisonous gas began hissing from vents. Hyunwoo, seal those vents, Doyun ordered. The engineer worked frantically, but there were too many. The prisoners began choking, falling. Jiwoo looked at Doyun. Get them to the ship. I will find Kyung-ho. Not alone. I am the only one fast enough to reach him before he kills everyone. You know I am right. Doyun wanted to argue, but she was right. Go, and Jiwoo, do not let him manipulate you. You are not what he made you. She smiled. I know who I am now. That's why I can face him. Jiwoo ran, following the signal from Kyung-ho's broadcast, through corridors filling with gas, toward the control center at the facility's core. She found him in a command room overlooking the detention level. He was older than her, late 40s, with augmented eyes that glowed like hers once had. There you are, he said pleasantly. Come to kill me? If I have to. Please, you are not a killer anymore. I can see it. They removed your augmentations, weakened you, made you pathetic again. Jiwoo felt the old programming stir, the urge to attack, to kill, but it was distant now, manageable. You are wrong, she said. I was always strong. You just taught me to direct it toward destruction. I choose differently now. Kyung-ho laughed. Choice, such a human concept. You think you have free will? You are a weapon. You always will be. No, I am a person you hurt, a person you tried to break, but I survived, and now I will make sure you never hurt anyone else. Kyung-ho moved too, his own augmentations making him fast. They collided in the center of the room, trading blows too quick for normal eyes to follow. He was strong, enhanced with the best technology the hegemony could provide. But he had never suffered, never been broken, never learned to fight through pain. Jiwoo had. She took hits that would have dropped a normal person, pushed through injuries that should have stopped her. Because she was not fighting for herself anymore. She was fighting for Yuna, for the other prisoners, for every person the hegemony had stolen and tortured. Kyung-ho fell. His augmentations sparked and failed. He looked up at her with fear in his enhanced eyes. Please, he said. I was just following orders. So were the people who tortured me, and I killed them too. Wait, I have information. Locations of other facilities, names of hegemony officials involved. I can help you. Then shook her head. I do not need your help. We will find them ourselves. She ended it. Quick, clean, not out of rage or programming, but out of justice. When she returned to the others, they were at the ship, the prisoners loaded. Doyun waited for her by the airlock. Is it done? He asked. It is done. And how do you feel? Tired, sad, but free. She looked at the stars beyond the airlock. Really, truly free. The escape was chaos. Gunwoo's ships were falling back, their shields failing under the warship bombardment. The Talon launched with the prisoners aboard, racing for the hyperspace jump point. Explosions rocked the facility behind them. Someone, Probably Hyunwoo had rigged the reactor to overload. The crucible erupted in fire, taking its secrets with it. They jumped to hyperspace seconds before the warships could intercept. Safe, alive, free. The evidence Doyon had released could no longer be ignored. The hegemony faced sanctions. Investigations began. Arrests were made. It was not enough. It would never be enough to balance what had been done. But it was a start. Admiral Salmon was pardoned and reinstated. She used her authority to protect Doyon and his crew, declared them heroes instead of criminals. The rescued prisoners were given medical care, therapy. Some could return to their old lives. Others, like Jiwoo, would carry their scars forever. Doyon stood on the observation deck of a Terran military station, watching ships come and go. The war was over, his mission complete. Jiwoo joined him. She looked different now, calmer, more at peace. "What will you do now?" she asked. "I do not know. Maybe retire, find a quiet planet somewhere." "That does not sound like you." He smiled. "No, it does not. What about you?" "I found my sister. She wants me to come live with her, on a colony world. Quiet, peaceful." "Will you go?" "Yes, but I will visit sometimes. Check on the others. Make sure they are okay. They will need that, someone who understands." They stood in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Two people changed by war, but not broken. Scarred, but still standing. "Thank you," Jiwoo said finally, "for seeing me. Not the weapon, not the monster. Just me. Thank you for reminding me why we fight. It is not about orders or duty. It is about doing what is right, even when it is hard." She smiled. A real smile, one that reached her eyes. "Humanity, fuck yeah," she said. Doyon laughed. The old rallying cry. The reminder that humans were more than the galaxy thought. Stronger, kinder, more stubborn. "Yeah," he agreed. "Humanity, fuck yeah." Jiwoo left the next day, heading toward her new life, her second chance. There was still work to do. Other prisoners to find. Other wrongs to right. But he did it knowing that the galaxy remembered. Remembered the woman they had called a monster. Remembered the truth that could not be hidden. And most importantly, remembered that one person willing to fight for what was right could change everything. The war had been won, but the real victory was this: Jiwoo was free. Not because the hegemony allowed it, not because it was convenient, but because she had reclaimed her humanity against impossible odds. And that was something worth fighting for.